This short video is to illustrate foot complications that can occur with the diabetic foot. This story is about Steave and hopefully provides an insight into how these complications affect the life of the person with diabetes. Steave went to the clinic for a foot appointment. He came in to see the podiatrist, put his foot up on the leg rest, and there was a corn on his little toe of his right foot. The corn was not painful, and he didn't know that the corn was there. He'd been to a family celebration during the previous week and was dressed up for the occasion. Steave said he wore proper shoes most of the week. Steave has had diabetes for a long time, for more than 20 years. Steave does not feel the corn because he has peripheral neuropathy. Peripheral neuropathy is a complication of diabetes and results in a change in sensation to the foot. To test for peripheral neuropathy, use the 5.07 monofilament. It is the accepted gold standard for measuring peripheral neuropathy. The presentation of a corn, dark pigmentation, and no pain is enough clinical evidence to see if a diabetic foot assessment of risk test, the DART, has been completed. Do the DART and determine the risk status and make the appropriate referral. Steave is ready to see the podiatrist. Here the podiatrist will use a scalpel to trim away the corn. This is done with great care to ensure no injury occurs to the skin. The purpose for debriding the corn is to remove the pressure from the skin. Small pieces of hard, dead skin are removed to reduce the skin back to normal tissue. Is this the end result? Has the corn been reduced to normal skin? No, the podiatrist is not convinced that the normal skin has been found, and further hard skin is trimmed away. Note the dark pigmentation on the toe and the top of the foot. Dark pigmentation indicates the skin is under stress. The skin can react this way to pressure, infection, ulceration, and trauma. The podiatrist is suspicious of ulceration. The hard skin and corn have been trimmed back and exposes a shallow ulcer under the corn. The skin has not been cut to make the ulcer was there all the time, hidden under the corn. Wearing the ill-fitting shoe has caused the damage to the toe. The message from this story is that with the presentation of a painless corn, dark pigmentation, and a long history of diabetes, the following action should be taken. Do the DART. Refer to a podiatrist. Remove the pressure. Encourage self-care at every opportunity. Why did Steave go to see the clinic in the first place if the toe wasn't sore and he didn't even know it was there? Steave has a wound with a dressing on the sole of the same foot. He contacted the Indigenous health worker for an appointment to see the podiatrist about this wound on his heel. Recall on the diabetic foot assessment of risk test, the DART. Section 3 asks to identify active foot lesions. Section 4 asks to identify scars and amputations. This is a significant scar and a significant active foot lesion. The active lesion is the dark spot, which was covered by the dressing. It is a very hard callus on the edge of a large scar on the sole of his foot. The large plantar scar is a result of a skin graft for a chronic wound. Both the scar and the plantar callus indicate a high-risk foot. Steave did not feel the ulcer on his little toe, and he had no pain walking on the sole of this foot. He has peripheral neuropathy. The podiatrist's role here is to debride the hard skin, remove the pressure, promote healing, notice the ulcer under the hard callus. When diabetes affects feet, it usually affects both, so beware. Here is Steave walking to the clinical chair. Steave sits on the chair, preparing to remove his left leg to get his foot up on the couch. This case highlights the need for continuous care and review of high-risk clients. Despite Steave having already had a below-knee amputation of the left leg, the new active lesion on the little toe of the right foot went undetected and unmanaged until he presented in the clinic for management of the other active lesion under his right heel. Fortunately, the little toe healed and did not progress beyond the ulceration. Without the intervention, the ulcerated corn may have become infected. The infection may have involved the joint or the bone, and the further amputation of this part of the foot or leg could have resulted. Daily self-care activities are essential for high-risk feet. Wash, dry, look and feel feet each and every day. Look beyond the obvious. Care for dry skin. Wear well-fitting shoes. Have regular appointments with the podiatrist.